That's what
Oh,
this
wow.
is.
And Al Gore was the first artist on Weapon X, I believe.
That's right.
Oh, looks like
Al Gore.
we're we are live on the tube, so we're gonna get this started in 3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Comic Book Club. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we are coming to you live from the internet, which is a very exciting place to be. It's where Wolverine lives. It's where Al Gore lives. What about you guys? True. How you living this week? You living large?
Living large. Voted today. That was a blast.
Nice.
It was actually quite a long time, way more than I thought. 2 hours-ish, which was crazy. And yeah, excited to get that. It truly feels like I finished my homework.
Did you go to the Barclays Center? Is that why it was 2 hours? Because you wanted to do it in the big spot?
Oh, yeah, you had to get like Shake Shack, stop by the Target and the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
I dunked on it, and then I voted right down the party line. It was great. Pete, did you vote yet? Your vote actually is now, right?
I voted early, bro. I did that.
You can say his vote matters.
His vote is ice cold. Your vote is like a finishing move in Mortal Kombat. My vote is like one little punch off to the side. You're just like tearing the spine out of democracy in a good way. In a good way.
Finish him. Let's hope so, buddy.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
Smart move. I guess, Alex, you and I have to move to Michigan or
Iowa.
I vote in every state just to kind of like cover all my bases.
I don't think that's legal, bro.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not a problem.
The Court of Zalbins.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has specifically brought up a problem with that sort of behavior, so it should be good to go. No, I voted
even joking about it, it's fun.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel really weird and very uncomfortable. I voted in Sunset Park here in Brooklyn on Saturday on the first day of early voting. It was great. Line wrapped around the block, took about an hour, but everybody was very calm and took their time and everything, which is good. I don't know how it's going to be like on election day, but
everyone will have already voted.
There you go. We'll be all done. Yeah. 11 a.m. on November 3rd. We'll be like, well, that's it.
Called it, Biden.
That would be great. We're also we're going to call in our first guest.
Woohoo!
Actually, our only guest today here in the stream. I'm definitely going to mangle his name, and I'm going to apologize about that in advance. But Francois Vigneault, he is the creator of Oni Press's Titan. Ladies and gentlemen, Francois, how are you?
Hey.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I succeeded in my small task.
First of all, was I even close with the Francois Vigneault?
I was slightly distracted. How did you do it?
Francois Vigneault.
It's pretty smooth. Yeah.
Wow, very smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex took 6 weeks of French lessons to get.
I can tell.
Prepare for this.
It was exactly with the right 6 weeks of French pronunciation.
That's all it takes.
Very excited to chat about this book. It comes out from Oni Press on November 10th, which is very cool. We got a little bit of an advanced look at it. I'll tell you what, this is probably going to break my computer, but I'm going to try to bring up a look at it. Yeah, there it is.
I have a real copy of it. It's weird.
Yeah, that's not breaking any computers.
That is weird.
Here we go. I'm going to bring this up right here so the folks who are watching on the old tube or on Crowdcast can take a look at it. There we go. There it is. How does this look, everybody? All right.
Nice, Alex. Tech flex. Really cool.
Yeah, there we go. This book is great. I won't flip through all the pages because obviously we don't want to spoil stuff. But
let's just do a read along. We can all do the different
pages.
Part 1, Far, Far Away.
Yeah.
Oh no.
How's
Alex,
that?
would you be Phoebe? I think you would do a really good job.
Can I audition for the role of Phoebe? Okay. Yeah. Oh, Alex has it. Okay, that's fine.
No. I mean, it's open call.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Let's all read it separately, and then we'll choose who the best is.
So, one of the things that I think for those who are watching in the video form versus the audio form, you're going to have a hard time seeing this. But the colors are really fascinating. You're working very much in blacks and whites. And it's not even red, right? It's sort of a very light red or a pink, or what's going on there? What went with the color choice for this book?
Sure. Well, I'm not afraid of the word pink. We can use the word pink.
All right.
But I like to work in spot color. I think it's just it's an interesting kind of middle ground where I can, add details, shading, kind of like a little bit more depth into the background of the art. But it's not as overwhelming for me. I'm not, number one, I'm not the world's greatest artist of all time. You may not have known that,
wow.
but
Get
it's true.
outta here.
Number two, I'm not like a real expert at doing those little cross hatching or like some super fine shading and detailing. And then sometimes
This
in
was
comics,
in the 90s. We're past that.
that was my era. I grew up with, that was like the Ne plus ultra of how you were supposed to draw, and I'm not that great at it, but I work as an illustrator too, and I work in full color, and I like working at it. But sometimes on the comic book page, I feel like it can almost be overwhelming, and I kind of really like that middle ground that you can get with spot color. And with Titan came out, and it was like kind of serialized before it ended up in the real world, and the French edition is actually purple. This is what the French one looks like.
Oh, interesting.
So it's totally like a kind of a different vibe,
Wow.
Now, why the color change? Or I guess why did you?
I ended up with purple in the French edition because my editor liked it, and he sort of thought it added a kind of a mysterious sci-fi weird vibe. And then I went back. I tried a bunch of different colors, but I went back to pink in the end for the new edition coming out from Oni Press, and that was the very first color I tried. And I think I sort of like how it has a sort of it undercuts some of the dark material that's in the book.
Yeah,
so it has a sort of a romantic vibe. Yeah.
But I agree. I think sort of the two masters of the relationship side of the story in a good way, and then also the eeriness. It's sort of a nice middle ground between that purple and what you have.
Good.
What I'll mention here, and then I'll close this up because we don't want to get too far into the book to spoil. Everybody should pick it up. But these two main characters that you're seeing here, it's sort of like a Romeo and Juliet type thing, but in space, and one of them is very large and one of them is regular human size. That's the worst way of describing it.
Fun
right?
size.
No, I wish I had that description when we were getting the cover and the cover blurb ready and everything, because it blows away what we wrote down on there. I think that would be good selling copy right there. I like it.
Blurb guy.
Well, give me your pitch then. What is your pitch for the book?
I'm awful at it. I always do a really bad job at it. But basically, like you said, it's a story about a relationship between two people, and they come from different worlds. Literally, in this case, one of them comes from the Earth, and he's like normal sized, and the other person, Phoebe, she's from the moon of Titan, where all the people have been genetically engineered to live there. So they're all giants, not like 50 feet tall, but she's like 8 feet tall, and some of the people are like 11 feet tall, etc. And everybody who is a Titan, who's from the world of Titan, is a worker. They are an underclass in the world of 200 years or so in the future, and all their managers and all the security and all the structure of the corporate structure and the governmental structure that's around them is all run by people from the Earth. And so there's a lot of class conflict, racial conflict between the people from Titan, the people from the Earth. And so the story has two main characters, kind of 2 points of view, but is a little bit about that connection. And but it's also, hopefully it's a fun read. Also, there's like some action and all that good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Action, some exciting societal conflict. As the tallest member of Comic Book Club, I sort of understand. I really identify with the Titans here.
Oh my god!
You guys get it as regular sized humans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fun size.
Yes. Where did the initial germ of this idea come from?
The basic idea was just one day I was just like, well, what if there were big people? It's really kind of a stupid idea in a way, right?
What a great
basketball or something. And you were like,
what if there were big people?
Well, actually, to really tell you the little germ of it is like one day I was walking around and I saw two dogs hanging out, interacting. What do dogs do? I don't know. Hang out, I guess. And one of them was a very small little dog, like a Chihuahua, and the other was like a much bigger dog. and I thought, what do these dogs think about each other? Like who are they to each other? Because they're the same species, like they're both descended from like the same genetic stock, and it's just through the meddling of humans that we've created these dogs that have very different morphology. Their bodies are shaped really differently, but essentially they're both dogs, and so they still have dog interactions. And I'm sure you've seen this at like the dog park, or when people are walking their dogs, and there's like the little dog who thinks he's going to take on the Great Dane, or what have you. And so I just that was like the silly kind of concept, and I was like, okay, well, what if people were like that? Like, what would the structure be like? And then, of course, that unfortunately, it wasn't like dogs where I thought everything was going to be real cool between the giant humans and the normal humans. Like I kind of thought back to this world that we live in, and I projected forward, and it seemed to make sense to me that there might be some conflict between these two groups of people.
That's such a fascinating
I love it.
way. I love that too. That way that you got into there, and eventually you're like, I see a large dog and a small dog. What if they were humans in space? Right? It was like that quick, basically. It got from one.
Well, the dog park is sort of space for dogs,
Yeah.
because they're at home, and then they go into this place. It's like wide open. There's other dogs there.
Well, I mean, I could have written a book about dog revolution instead of Titan revolution, and the dogs are like the ultimate underclass for for tens of thousands of years have been subjugated by humans. They say man's best friend, but really, is it really man's best friend, or is it something else? It's a different kind of relationship.
You're workshopping on our show. This is
You're
great.
pushing the dog revolution. See, that's in my household. I serve the dog. It's not great for me, but it's a nice way to change it up.
Now, as you mentioned, this was originally serialized, right? But obviously it's coming out in this trade format right now. It still feels very relevant, very timely, particularly right now. Is that just kind of a happy mistake?
Oh, I don't know if the word "happy" is the right is the right term for it, but it's weird. Like the book, the French edition came out in 2017, and I started writing the book in 2012. It took me about 5 years to do the book. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that some of the themes, and for like the readers, the listeners who haven't read the book, it's about like a revolution, about like a nascent political revolution on the moon of Titan, and there's a lot of like racial animosity, class structure animosity. There's like distinct like scenes with like police violence and violence by like state sanctioned violence and things like that. So there's all this stuff in there that is very, very much unfortunately connects with the world that we're living in right now. I think probably every author, like, they really hope that their book's gonna like capture the zeitgeist of what's going on when it comes out, and they're gonna be like the book of the season or something. Honestly, it's kind of cool, but it's more like upsetting. I grew up in the United States. It's really I find the current situation there to be sort of really stressful and upsetting. So I would much rather that I don't know, that my book was more out of place, and that the scenes in it were more fantastical, and people were like, what a trip. It's a crazy adventure in another world or something like that, instead of being like, oh, ripped from the headlines. But it's an accident. Even earlier this year, the book was supposed to, the book got delayed quite a bit, and even earlier this year, I quite early in the year, or maybe last year, I was like, oh, it seems like some of the stuff has calmed down. Like maybe some of the things I have in this book have like calmed down, because we've had it's been like 8 years of Black Lives Matter, like making an effort to like kind of engage the public. And I was like, oh, maybe there's some difference. But I think this year we saw the backlash. So we'll see how it goes.
Since this has, relatively speaking, been finished a while ago, is there new stuff that you're working on? Do you have a Titan 2 in the works or anything like that?
I do have some new things. It's kind of funny. Again, because of this very bizarre and like sort of poorly written science fiction novel that we're all living through. Like the unexpected global pandemic has caused a couple of projects to be delayed. Titan came out later than it was supposed to. And then there's this other thing that I'm working on that was already supposed to be out that won't come out till May of next year.
Oh, wow. And
so I can't really talk about it, but it's totally, it hasn't been announced yet. But that is a trip. It's totally a different kind of thing. It's a monthly comic book, full color, science fiction comedy type thing.
Ooh.
I'm not writing it; I'm just drawing it, and it's just miles and miles away from Titan, maybe light years, since we're in the sci-fi realm.
We are in space.
I think that's going to be really fun. That's going to come out I think it'll be announced sometime. It's Oni Press is also putting out that book, and then I'm starting. I just started writing another kind of like political sci-fi thriller, sort of in line with Titan. It's a lot about like class conflict. Some people have told me that Titan could have almost taken place like in 1892 rather than 2192, because it's very much like the proletariat and the factory worker and everything like that. And so in this new book, I'm sort of tackling a little bit more the modern face of like class conflict, which is like very built into like consumerism and like like the ultra rich who have who really oftentimes live in a literally different world than what we're living in and things like that, and some of the conflict there. So I'm going to try and do something along those lines, but that
finally getting away from the real American experience, huh?
Exactly. I'm just gonna take it really relaxed for the next one.
One thing that struck me while reading it, and I don't think this is something you necessarily think while you're putting together a book, but I'm curious if it did go through your mind at any point. This almost seems tailor-made for a movie in my mind, not just because of the arc, not just because of the plot or the action, but also because it's almost achievable sci-fi in a certain way. Like you have these tech implants that people have, you have the sets. Obviously, you're going to have to set another planet, but in terms of the landscape of it is pretty small, and you just have slightly larger people and regular sized people. Is that something that came to mind at any point when you're putting it together?
I wouldn't mind at all. I like, I'm like a big film buff. I like cinema a lot. Film was a big inspiration for the book. Almost as much of an inspiration as like science fiction novels or comic books was. So I wouldn't mind at all. And I definitely thought about it a couple of times. I've thought sometimes that that it's actually like it's doable on a pretty big budget, because of like you have to like Gandalf all the giant people, which like it makes like lots and lots of the shots special effects shots. So I was like, I've thought about that before. I've been like, oh, maybe well, I wonder how people are going to manage that. But I think it'd be cool. We could have like a like a good tall actress who like do the right shots and it'll work just great. I'm into
Gwendolyn Christie and Tom Cruise, and you're pretty much set.
That's basically it.
That's not exactly what I had in mind, but I like this. Like we're doing a lot of workshopping. I appreciate that.
And speaking of workshopping, what if we take it back to the original pitch and we shoot it as dogs? It's all just dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, just dogs, because we've already. It's not even a special effect. There's big dogs already.
That's what I'm saying.
They're for hire. I'm ready.
We save money on the special effects, and we just have a really good dog trainer.
What if instead? Oh, I was just gonna say, what if instead it's called Big Dogs for Hire? Because that's like a fun title. Instead of Titan.
Anyone who's listening, I've got too much on my plate, so just go for it. Big Dogs for Hire. It's yours, no problem. I won't even take
very generous of you.
My customary 15%. That's fine.
Wow.
Once again, Titan is out November 10th from Oni Press. You can pick it up everywhere. It looks like that. It's awesome. Francois, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good luck with everything. We'll send you your money.
Oh, cool.
For Big Dogs for Hire.
No, he said he would waive his 15%.
Oh, he was going to waive his. I missed that part. I was too excited about everything coming together. Once again, the book is called Titan. It's out from Oni Press on November 20th.
20th?
Oh, sorry. It's been a long
There's
week.
no true date coming up. November.
Dates.
Yeah. It's March, February, Turfum team.
Yeah.
But definitely pick that up from Oni Press when it comes out. And guys, we are going to move on to our next section, which is my favorite section because you all make it up. It's your audience question.
Audience question.
And for that, all you got to do is drop a question, ask a question here on Crowdcast or on YouTube. Just drop a question in the comments and we'll get to that. Or if you're on YouTube, give us a little thumbs up there. We always like the thumbs up. Justin,
always like it.
Justin, afterwards, after the show, you always do this. You give a report to your children how many thumbs ups we got, and if we don't get enough, they cry, right?
That's 100% right. And like, it's not just a little cry; it's a big cry, like a cry they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
Hey, Justin, speaking of crying, did you shave in between there to give yourself like a more like kind of like Southern charm?
You're going gray,
you mean this part or this part?
Yeah, that part.
This part?
What?
No, it looks like you shaved right here and right here.
Oh, right here. No, that's costume is Doctor Strange.
Oh,
is that not obvious? Is that not obvious?
It is now that you say it.
Yeah, it is. Sure. Yeah. I get it.
By the eye of.
What are you drinking?
Me, I'm drinking a little Bengali Tiger from 6 Point Brewery.
Nice. Yeah. Pete, what about you? What are you up to?
Oh, I'm just finishing off the last of this vodka here. And then
nice.
Straight vodka.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. What distillery?
And then putting in a little purple source Rex because I'm classy.
Oh my god. I went to the beer distributor near me today. Very exciting. Justin's
you
gonna
love that.
These. I actually got 2 beers. The one that I'm drinking
right
now.
What smash are you drinking today?
I'm drinking Maple Nipple.
Oh my god!
From Lawson's. It's an amber ale with a little bit of Vermont maple syrup in it. It's it's pretty good.
Alex, no.
How sweet is it?
What drew you to that? The name Maple Nipple?
I got to be honest. I've been there like 3 or 4 weeks in a row at this point to buy weirder and weirder beers for the show, and it keeps calling to me. And I was like, I can't get the Maple Nipple, and then I got the Maple Nipple.
And you got it.
And you know what I also got today? It tastes like it's good. It's an ale. It actually has like a very light maple syrup.
Like old rainwater, like old Vermont rainwater in a barrel.
Yeah, with like a suck it on a Vermont maple tree. We got to get Lachlan Barone to do that one. The other one that I got, which I think you're going to like even more, Justin. You ready for this?
Can it get worse?
Yes. This is Lego My Banana.
Oh my god!
What?
It's a sour ale with bananas and maple syrup.
This truly bananas are barely good at banana.
I'm very excited.
Does it taste like waffles at all?
Well, I started this Maple Nipple, so I'm having that, which is pretty good. It tastes like pancakes that have been soaked in beer, which I know we all like.
Yeah, tasty.
So I got that.
You know, we always joke about how Pete like drinks hard and maybe like has the taste of a child, an alcoholic child. But Alex, I gotta think you keep trying to add alcohol to foods.
Yeah,
in a way that I'm starting to wonder what's up with you. Like, are you like another beerial? Let me start the day with a beer cereal mix.
Yeah, of course. How else would you start the day?
Yeah,
oh my god, I would love that. Dump beer and cereal. Oh, what a great way to do it.
To quote Beer Cat PhD, it is not as good as it sounds. I have definitely done that as a joke, but it was real. Also, soup is bad with alcohol.
Soup?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't have like a nice whiskey clam chowder. I don't think. Manhattan style, of course. Let's move to questions. We got one here on the tube. Agitato says, "You guys excited for Mandalorian? I'm still waiting for Carl Weathers to exclaim, 'Mando, you son of a bitch!' and smash out a handshake like in Predator." What do you think? That's coming up on Friday. You guys stoked for the new seasons of Mando?
I'm psyched for Mando.
Oh yeah, it's
funny. Despite all the TV and all the TV that we've been watching, this feels like a special case. It feels like a little throwback to an earlier time in our lives
when we were happy.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
a joyful time.
Yes.
Yeah, I was riding the subway watching that, so that was such a world away.
And you will again, right?
Sure.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens on that count. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited for it. It looks good. I'm definitely going to wake up early and watch the first episode and probably every episode, but I still get nervous about the amount of things we've heard about in this season and that we're going to end up with Jon Favreau pulling an Iron Man 2 again, where it's just...
Hey, come on.
Are you defending Iron Man 2, or what are you doing right now? What's your
defending John Favreau?
Okay.
Defending John
Never
Favreau.
made a bad movie, right, Pete?
That's right.
Never
made
is
glorious. Fuck
movie.
you, man.
Not a good movie.
I got
a sketch.
without a shirt
That's a
on.
sketch.
Here's the thing. I will defend Iron Man 2 on occasion because there are things that I really enjoy about that movie, but it's overstuffed.
The briefcase armor. The briefcase
armor is great. Mickey Rourke and his bird is ridiculous. Sam
Very
Rockwell is very fun. But it's a mess because it's trying to do too many things at once, and I worry this is going to be the same thing. It feels like maybe there's a danger of going into too many directions versus staying as focused as it did in the first season. But the problem I see is that they know how popular they are and they know what works going into the second season. And that's always a danger.
When has anyone knowing how cool they are ever been a bad thing?
I mean, us from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah. Confidence.
Yes, exactly.
I still have the jet skis we bought. We gotta return them.
Oh, man. All right, but very exciting. I'm sure we'll be talking lots more about that. Let's move to question here on Crowdcast. Joe says, what do you think the favorite Halloween candies of all the various Robins are?
Wow, that's a big question.
Hyper-specific question.
That is a hyper-specific question. Nightwing probably likes a Twix.
Wow. What's that about?
You said that.
Yeah, you said that so weird.
I don't know. He just feels like he's like Twix is kind of like, I'm snapping it into a Twix. That's good. He might also like Mounds because he's got a nice hot butt.
Wow,
Alex.
What?
Don't you mean all?
That took a turn, though. That was a hard turn.
No. What does everybody know about Nightwing? He used to be a Robin and he has a nice butt. That's it.
Well, that's it.
Those two things.
You know what? The way you talk about people, it's like pieces of meat.
Yeah.
Just Nightwing.
He's done more things than that.
He's done more for this country than you have.
He was in the circus, Alex.
Yeah.
And that's
he's also got the sweet maple nipples.
Oh, boy.
Not,
oh, my God.
That's like a maple leaf shaped nipple. Like a Canadian nipple.
Drunk, man.
A Canadian nipple. I see. The maple leaves are covering the nipples. I gotcha. Now that beer probably tastes great. Now that I understand it, I'm gonna go with. Let's break down the Robin candy.
Yeah,
I think Nightwing. You are right, Alex. He's sort of an over the plate guy. I'm gonna go with Mr. Goodbar.
Ooh, I was thinking Baby Ruth, but all right.
Yeah, Mr. Goodbar is one of those candy bars that you don't see anywhere else except for on Halloween night in its mini form.
Yeah, in the mini form.
Have you ever seen a big Mr. Goodbar? Like, who's eating those? Yeah, it's not
in the 80s. I did, but that was.
Do you think Tim Drake has like celery? He has like ants on a log or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor Tim Drake.
He X-rays apples to make sure there's no razor blade in them, and then eats them. Don't forget Steph Brown. Obviously, she's the spoiler. I don't know. Is she like a Rice Krispie treat?
Ooh, no, maybe like a candy apple?
No, it's Sour Patch Kids.
Ooh, that's a good one for her. I like that.
Oh, that's a good call, Pete.
Do we do Jason Todd yet? Because
no.
he's just like snorting straight cocaine.
Hey, whoa. Yeah. Come on.
Yes, the adult Halloween candy is cocaine.
Nose candy.
Yeah, if you go to Alex's house, he's like, how old are you? And if you're over 15, you get cocaine. A handful of cocaine. He pours it into your hand like this.
Well, that's the nice thing about this year is you can't really hand people candy on Halloween, but you can blow powder out your window.
Wow.
My favorite high is just really sucking air cocaine out of a park or Sunset Park window.
Yeah.
I think we answered that correctly.
I think so too.
Did we say Damian Wayne?
No, he didn't.
I think he like strychnine.
There's a couple of calls for like Good and Plenty's or Licorice for Damian Wayne. I don't know.
Maybe Black Licorice.
And I think like he's gonna go for Red Hots or Atomic Fireball or something.
He
like that.
Mushes them all together, like melts them all together or something, makes something kind of monstrous and crazy.
And we know that the true, like the Joker would only choose the truly the most villainous candy, Swedish Fish.
Come on.
Stop.
You are so wrong about this.
Yeah, what was that? Oh, yeah, the dust on it? Like, I'm still trying to wrap
this
my
is
head
for a podcast we haven't even posted yet, right?
Oh, cool.
It's good. It's the preview. No, Swedish fish
dumb.
are gross. They're like
Fuck you.
Also, they're like old versions of Sour Patch Kids. They're the
What is that?
dusty
That
old
doesn't make
Sour
any
Patch.
sense.
Swedish fish are one of the top candies of all time.
Necco
Yes,
wafers
thank you.
are the Swedish fish of the gummies.
What? That
This is
doesn't make
awful.
any sense.
You know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Necco wafers
yeah.
aren't even candy. Those are vitamins, I think.
Vitamins.
They're very thinly sliced chalk.
Over on the Tomb, Nelson Martinez says, have you guys seen the new Batwoman actress in the new suit? What do you guys think? I think it's great.
Oh yeah, man, looks cool. I'm excited to kind of see the revamped show. Hopefully, it'll be great. The costume looks amazing.
Yeah, I love Javicia Leslie. How much she collaborated with everybody on it is, I think, pretty awesome. She talked about this during the DC fandom panels, again, when they sent out the press release with the actual pictures of her. She apparently, like, they went back and forth and through pictures of what her hair should be, or like what her costume should be like, how it should fit her, how it should be different than Ruby Rose, how it should be more appropriate to her as a person. And I think that's great. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And it fits. Like, I'm sad because I will miss Ruby Rose on the show, but I am really excited to see what she's going to bring to the character.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah.
I don't watch the show, but that sounds cool.
It does.
You should check it out.
Check it out. Batwoman.
You got some free time.
Yep. Just
I
grab some
do?
Swedish fish and go watch Batwoman Season 1 now on HBO Max, your favorite streaming service. Edward Doherty says, superheroes often have one traumatic experience from their childhood, which is poetically expressed as part of their hero persona. Could you please... Oh, I really got to vet these. Could you please speculate on the incident from your co-host youth that makes them the way they are
my
now?
God, no.
Wow. Perfect.
No.
Great.
You could get real fucked up.
What trauma in our pasts led us to be here?
I think maybe
to be who we are.
Yeah. I think maybe somebody said to Zalbin, you aren't funny and you're never going to go to Cornell. And Zalbin was like, I'll prove you wrong. And then
Wow.
that's what happened.
And we find out later that person is Pete traveling through time. Obviously. I picture Alex riding one of those Victorian bicycles.
One of the
That's
big
true.
wheel and then the small wheel.
And I guess that's not super traumatic, but that's just what I picture.
Yeah. I did swallow a bee once when I was riding a bicycle. That was pretty weird.
Oh, man.
Did it?
Were you like,
Did
yum?
it live?
Well, I feel like I've had to have told this story on the show before, but I was about probably 15 or 16 riding my bike through the park. And as I was riding through the bike through the park, looked in front of me and I was like, ooh, it's a flying Cheeto. And I opened my mouth
No!
and it went like that. And it went right down my
Cheeto!
throat. And I went, and I was like, wait a second. Flying Cheetos don't exist. I just swallowed a bee.
Alex, what whimsical, what cartoon character.
Cheetos don't exist.
I don't know.
That's
What happened?
That's the most Jughead thing I've ever heard you say or do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why that put you on the straight and narrow.
I was like, no more bee swallowing for me.
That's more Archie than Jughead, I feel like.
No, Jughead's hungry.
Yeah, Jughead
Archie would be
would
like, ooh, a flying Cheeto. Let me have sex with it and take my shirt off.
Jesus Christ.
You're not
Wait,
wrong.
did it sting you in your mouth at all, or?
No, I don't think so. The only time I've had several weird bee encounters, there was that one. Another time, the very
do a
short
whole podcast on bee stuff.
I mean, I could. The short version of the story was when I was 13. I was on a camping tour of the East Coast. We went up and down the East Coast and camped in a bunch of places. And we were walking a trail in some national park. I honestly don't remember exactly where it was. But everybody in front of me started running as fast as they can down the trail. Now,
Always
I should
just
mention
run.
that they
Always
warned
just
us
run.
before we got on the trail. They're like, hey, just be careful. There's a bear in the woods and it's been kind of approaching people. So just back off if you see it. Just be very careful. So it's like, oh my God, it's the bear. So I started following after them. and I realized it was not, in fact, the bear. Somebody had disturbed a beehive on the path, and the path was swarming with bees. And when I looked down, my entire legs, I was wearing shorts, were completely covered in bees.
Oh, were you like the last guy running? Were you the...
No, there were 4 people behind me.
Oh, wow.
And I was completely frozen in fear, stood there completely stock still.
Wait, you stopped?
I stopped when I saw the bees. I couldn't move. I was completely frozen.
You were like, this is my Spider-Man moment.
Yes, this is it. I was like, bite me, bees. No, I was completely terrified. And the 4 people behind me were like, just stay calm. And I was like, I definitely can't, but I'm going to not move anyway. And it felt like over the course of an hour, I very, very slowly moved my way back towards them, away from where everybody had run away.
You were like, I'll run toward the bees.
No, away from the bees, but like a centimeter at a time, until finally all the bees left, and I did not get stung at all.
What?
One of the people it was insane. One of the people behind us was like, you know what, I'm going to make a run for it. Jumped over the bees. He got stung. Pretty much everybody else on the tour got stung.
Tried to jump over bees?
Yeah, and ran after everybody. And myself and 2 other people were like, you know, we're going to double back, try to figure out if there's another way out of the forest to get back to the tour bus. So we doubled back. It took a very long time. Finally got back there, and everybody else was there by the time we got back there, of course. And they're like, hey, what happened to you? And they were like, oh, we tried to avoid the bees, so we went back. And they're like, oh, we got attacked by the bear.
Oh!
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
How many kids died by the bear?
Nobody died, but the bear ran out after them, and they all screamed and ran away. So no bees stung me that day. No bears attacked me, but everybody else pretty much got stung by bees and attacked by a bear.
Okay, so it's like you walk back to the bus, like torn shirt, like prepubescent muscles hanging out, just like striding bravely. Everyone else is in tatters behind you.
Yep, pretty much. That was pretty much it.
Wait.
Shot for shot.
Who goes on hiking tours of the East Coast? What are you fucking...
What are you talking about?
You were like, oh, I was on a hiking tour of the East Coast.
Yeah, they would put us on a tour bus. We go from campsite to campsite. There were a couple of hotels in the middle there. It's a whole thing.
This is city kid stuff.
Yeah,
I don't understand what's
it's called a teen tour.
Yeah, he was on a teen tour. He was on a teen tour, Pete.
You got on a teen bus and they took you places?
But wait,
a tragedy struck yet another teen tour as the Bee Bear 1-2 punch devastated.
But just to answer the question, I didn't get stung when I ate the bee. I did get stung when I was covered in bees. However, my senior year of college, I got mono. And I was home. I went back home, and I was home with mono for a month. And I was upstairs using my parents' computer, just like playing King's Quest or something like that. And I was like, "Ow!"
Computer.
Yeah, and I just no. Honestly, at that point, I was probably watching the Phantom Menace trailer on a loop on like a postage stamp size thing. But I suddenly felt like something very sharp, and I looked down at my pajama pants because it was in pajamas, and I had no idea what was going on in it. Senior year of college.
Oh my God.
And I worked the thing in my pants all the way down, and I realized a bee had somehow crawled all the way up my pants and stung me on my knee. So that's the only time I've been stung by a bee.
Wow. Another riveting bee story from Alex. That's going to crush at the old folks' home that we all live in eventually.
Were they Star Wars pajama bottoms?
Probably.
Were you wearing a top, or were your post-pubescent muscles sticking out?
It was mostly ripped because I had just been attacked by a bear.
These goddamn bees!
Well, I think that answered your question, Edward. Let's move on to Beer Cat PhD related to Alex's pumpkin carving. Who carved pumpkins this year? What did everyone carve? Just to clarify, I didn't actually carve a pumpkin.
Just to clarify, this is a flex pumpkin, not a regular pumpkin.
Should I show it off here on the camera?
We already saw it in your background. Like, no need. We saw you place it there.
Yeah.
So,
and one of your many gift baskets that you get.
What?
That's an actual pumpkin.
Yeah, that's an actual pumpkin. It's from, oh my God, I'm forgetting the name, but I think it's like Monster Carving. And they sent some out for New Mutants coming to digital and Blu-ray on November 17th. But it's a rain pumpkin. So I was super excited about that.
It's a pumpkin that rain comes out of.
Rain Sinclair from New Mutants. The New Mutants.
Wolfbane.
Okay.
Wolfbane.
I thought it was like some kind of pumpkin that like it can get rained on. It'll be fine. It won't,
You wouldn't believe this pumpkin.
It holds up the rain.
One of the
It
rare
survives the
pumpkins that
rain.
gets rained on.
It
But
lives on rain.
to get back to the question,
You sure you don't want to
you-
flex? I'm sure you got more
I would
packages
love
that
to.
you were sent and just
I
be
would
able to show
absolutely
up.
love to.
Okay, all right.
Yes. No, I don't have anything else right now. Have you carved any special pumpkins either this year or previous years?
In the past, yes. We're carving our pumpkins tomorrow.
Ooh, yeah. Liwana had a pumpkin party where people came over and carved pumpkins. I didn't carve just because I was trying to be a good host, make sure everybody was properly fact up. You know what I mean? Just making sure glasses are full and stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah. Sorry, I disappeared from the camera for a moment. I just needed to put my beer back in this mini fridge I got from ABC.
Holy shit. Your arms got to be hurt, huh, bro? Are your arms hurt from flexing so hard?
Another Alex workout. Or
God.
TV flexes for a half
Are
an
we
hour.
having a flex off right now? Your arms got to be killing you.
I like our flex off because it's just Alex, and then we're like, "Yup."
Shut up!
That cooler looks like it's can hold one beer.
Pretty much. It's
Yeah,
pretty
in
terrible.
your face, Alex. That can only hold one beer.
Ben the Border Collie says, flexing with a promotional pumpkin, Alex. The answer to that is yes. From Randolph, do you have any all ages graphic novel recs? Good question.
Ooh,
All
good
ages
question.
graphic novel recs. I mean, I'll tell you, these are not, they are graphic novels, even though I feel like people in comics don't consider them this. But my son is obsessed with Dogman, the series, which is by the Captain Underpants guy. And they're actually not bad. They're very silly and dumb, but purposely so. But there's a lot of puns for the adults as well. So I recommend them. And the other thing that's kind of neat about them is there's a bunch of here's how to draw the characters things in the back. And he's been obsessively just like doing those things, which has been very cool to see. So there you go. That's my recommendation.
That's a good one. I'm trying to think. The first one that comes to mind, and it's a little fantasy focused, but Mouse Guard is one that I feel like is all ages that we
Took
liked
mine.
back in the day.
And the all yeah guys who do the DC stuff it's it looks very kid friendly, but there's a lot of great jokes in there for adults as well.
You talking like Tiny Titans?
Yep.
Nice.
Recommendation from Ben the Border Collie, Moon Girl, and Devil Dinosaur, which is a great one as well. Also, Batman Little Gotham is a lot of fun. That's by Dustin.
Oh
Lin.
yeah, that was great.
That's a good time. Highly recommend that. Lots of stuff out there. Question from John George. So
Uh-oh.
Justin, is Doctor Strange? What else are people dressing as this Halloween? Pete, hot dog again?
No, I'm slice of pizza this year.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Keeping it food. I just
Hitting
got
all
to
the
rep
food
New York
groups.
City, in my new surrounding. I'm still not ready to kind of,
They're
let
gonna
go.
be like, "What are you, pepperoni triangle?" And you're
Yeah, they're like, I
"Pizza."
don't understand what you are. And I'm like, yeah, no shit, you don't, fuckers.
Yeah, because you have a Brooklyn accent down there, right?
Oh yeah, I turned it up when I'm down here around new people.
Nice, good, good.
When I meet somebody, I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Just lay it on thick.
Nice, lay it on.
There actually are a lot of people in the comments right now with the pizza and the hot dog are wondering why you're not dressing like
cheesesteak.
It's too obvious. It's too obvious.
Alex tried to rewrite history.
I tried.
And I
It didn't
didn't,
really work.
and I don't
good.
want to tee you up ever for that. So there's also that.
Dress it like a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
That's good. I will be going as a chimney sweep in support of a child's costume, my child's costume.
Are you, when you say going, are you trick or treating?
No, we're not going. We're not.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dressing as and then sitting at home.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Alex, what are you?
Wait,
Oh.
you gotta tell us the rest that you're like to support my child.
We have done.
We're doing a
one-
Mary Poppins. We're doing a Mary Poppins theme.
Oh, fun.
So who's
I'm a
what?
chimney sweep. My older daughter, Matakid, is Mary Poppins.
Nice.
And then younger daughter wants to be a chimney sweep, which is sort of like. But now my wife feels guilty. She's like, well, she doesn't have her own costume. She's just support costuming for the daughter, but she wants to be a chimney sweep at this point. So it's like, what do you do? But like, what if she grows up to become a chimney sweep? And we're like, oh, God. Not a lucrative and unhealthy. It's like being it's like being a minor that goes up. Most chimney sweeps don't sing because of the.
Have you explained to her that shoe shine could get a little more money?
Yeah.
Also,
step in time.
What's Molly going to be then?
Also
Penguin?
chimney sweep. It's 3 chimney sweeps and Mary Poppins.
Wow.
That's great.
Snobs?
I don't know, actually. We have done coordinated costumes, but I don't know that I'm going to do anything this year. My son is dressing up as the Mandalorian. We got him a great Mandalorian costume. We got him a little baby Yoda that clips onto his shoulder. So he's pretty excited about that. That looks awesome. And my daughter is going to do Harry Potter for the TED Theater, probably.
Hey, man.
Keeping it real. Pete, mail him the hot dog.
Cool. We got a question here. Agitato says, so are you going to walk down the street saying chim chimney, chim 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 cheree?
True, isn't it?
I do every day. A sweeping as lucky can be.
And Scott Carpenter says, noticed no more stack section of the live show. That's true.
What?
We spun the stack.
Very astute.
Yes. No, I mean, we did it for a little while at the beginning of quarantine in a very different way, and then it kind of fell off as we started doing, as Joe mentioned, so you hear in the comments, more audience questions, also just more guest interview, I think, time. But there is the Stack podcast, which has all of the reviews and has been getting longer and longer.
Yes.
And that posts Wednesday
We do review
mornings.
Almost everyone now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we've been slowly spinning off all of our sections into other podcasts. Week in Geek is now the Patreon podcast. Stack is its own podcast.
If only we could spin this pesky trivia out of this show and get it.
Oh man.
But there you go. But yeah, if you want to check out the Stack, the main place to do that is over in its own podcast. But I think if we ever have guests, like just our fun guests back versus our interview guests, I think we'll try to do Stack stuff again in the show, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I mean, Nat Townsend hasn't bombed our show lately, and it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Nat.
He'll probably come in hot, you know what I mean, for like audience questions or trivia.
Yeah. And Scott follows up, could that be where you go over great older comics? Yes, absolutely. I think just because we've been able to book so many comic-specific writers and artists lately, I haven't been reaching out, honestly, as much to Nat and Abe Reisman and comedians and other folks. But we can get back to that. We can do it.
Maybe over
and
these
Boothman Prime.
Oh, no. I accidentally clicked off of whatever Kevin's question was. Kevin, if you want to ask your question in the comments again, go for it. That was my mistake. But in the meantime, Hollywood Homer says, is being bit by a radioactive spider a pre-existing condition? Great question. Justin, you're a doctor. Do you want to field this one?
That's true. I'm a doctor producer. Yes, it's a pre-existing condition. And your healthcare sense is tingling.
Oh,
nice. I thought you were all line doctor.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a line dancer. That's where the mistake
posted his question.
Nice. Wow. Okay, here we go. Kevin said, silliest, craziest merch you've ever bought. Silliest, craziest merch. I will say this is not silly or crazy, but to answer for Pete, the fact that at every comic convention, you would take an enormous stack of comics and get them all graded. That was pretty wild to me.
That's not merch, or I'm not even buying anything. What do you...
You're buying those plastic cases that they...
You're actually buying nothing, technically. Well, and I think also to answer for Pete, I think the best merch you get at a Comic-Con is the barbecue ribs at the lower level of the Javits Center.
Talking about Conso, I think that like I love going to cons to see the kind of stuff that you can get. I also love t-shirt, like looking for cool nerdy t-shirts is definitely a passion of mine. And like at cons there would be tons of whether they're startup t-shirt ideas or just like selling like comic book t-shirts. There's always a lot of fun to kind of be had in that. And that was one of my favorite things to do at a con when we go look for shirts. And then me and Justin bought the same shirt that one year.
What? Oh, the Felix?
Felix, yeah.
Yeah, great. That is that's not silly, but that is one of my favorite pieces of merch that we've gotten. I'm trying to think.
I will say, I mean, just while you're thinking, Justin, about the T-shirt thing, again, not particularly silly, and it wasn't for me. I think it was at a New York Comic-Con. I got my daughter, I'm trying to remember back in time based on the size, but there was a hoodie that was a Wicket from Star Wars hoodie. And it was like just a brown hoodie, and you'd flip it up and it had the little ears and everything. And it was very adorable. I believe it was a Her Universe thing, which that stuff is always real, real good. The stupidest thing that I didn't even buy, but my family bought and that we used way too much at the Philadelphia Con. Pete, you might remember this. Justin, you might as well. But they had a soda stand, like an old-timey soda stand.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
you bought a metal mug,
yeah.
you get as much soda as you want.
Yeah.
We got that on the first day, and I could not believe, yes, Wild Bill, I could not believe the amount of soda we drank that weekend.
Yes.
It was ridiculous.
All it takes to become a soda addict is a cup that you can refill in the room. I guess the best thing I bought is I paid several $1,000s for a Fuck Soups hat. Promotion for the boys.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a good? Oh, we have a box of them. What a waste!
Oh no, that's still in the pit, right?
Yeah, it's still there.
Man, we got to get that back.
Yeah.
Also, our mics and stuff and suitcase are all there, right?
Oh my God! What? We got to get all that stuff.
Right.
Ooh, this is a related question from Pablo. Pablo says, "What's the worst thing you bought at a convention the last few years?" Good question from Pablo there. Worst thing you bought at a convention?
Worst thing. I mean, watching you buy that soda mug really bummed me out.
Yeah, that was rough.
Pete getting the ribs or whatever it was every single day. That bummed me out.
I mean, the worst thing you buy at any Comic-Con is the food.
Yes.
Yeah, like the
always
overpaying for a hot dog. There's
never enough condiment. And I'm a condiment guy. I would rather have more tartar sauce than whatever thing I'm putting it on.
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about? Tartar sauce? Give me a mug to fill with tartar sauce. I'm a happy guy.
Oh man. Oh, that would be great. Like a fish stick stand right in the middle of the con floor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's why Long John Silver's is clearly the most popular fast food place in America. Because people are craving that tartar sauce vehicle.
Absolutely. Goes right with the maple clam chowder. What did we say earlier?
Oh man.
Whiskey
clam chowder. There we go.
That's my call sign. Hey, whiskey clam chowder.
Whiskey clam chowder. It's cocaine Halloween over here.
Cocaine Halloween. Oh my god.
That's very funny.
We got a couple more from Hollywood Homer. What's an untapped comic that hasn't been turned into a movie or TV show, excluding those that won't sell the rights like Saga or Alan Moore's comics? I mean, this is a very recent example based on what we were talking about earlier in the show, but I really do think once you guys read the Titan book, it seems like just a slam dunk for like a simple down and dirty sci-fi movie. Somebody should pick that up. Like, I think somebody could really do that justice without losing too much for the book itself.
Yeah, Stray Bullets at 100 Bullets. Yeah, and also Scalped would be amazing. But Concrete, I loved that book very much. I'm surprised nobody has done anything with that. It's really kind of crazy and fun.
Give me that Bone animated series. I'm ready for it. That's what I want. A sort of a Ralph Bakshi style, old-fashioned animated series. bring that on. There's this comic written by Nathan Edmondson from like 10, 12 years ago called Dancer. About
that was
remember
a good
that book?
one.
It was about a like an aging FBI agent who was either dating or married to this ballet dancer.
Oh yeah,
and he's being hunted by a younger version of himself. He was a great agent.
It's Gemini Man, but without Will Smith.
Right. But anyway, that
who wants that? Another good question from Hollywood Homer over here. Will Image Comics join Dark Horse, Oni Press, IDW, and other smaller publishers to make an online digital comic subscription to take on the other big three, DC, Marvel, Shonen Jump? I would venture more likely Comixology is going to get them, right? Like Dark Horse has kind of tried its own thing. It hasn't exactly worked, but Comixology is the dominant thing in the market. So I could see them slowly picking up those other ones, personally.
It is crazy. I haven't bought physical comics in so long.
Yeah.
Ooh, weird. I was in my basement and there's just a loose. Like
you are in
comic.
your basement.
That's great. That's right. And I was another time too.
Weird.
And to see just like that sort of weekly stack of comics and realize that I just don't know when the next time I'll get my hands on them again. Real revelation.
Cool. Great. Good answer. We already kind of answered this, but Hollywood Homer asks, have you all voted already? The only reason I'm bringing it up again, yes, we've all voted. If you haven't voted, not to make this into a political show, but as far as we've been hearing today, you kind of missed your chance to mail in stuff at this point. I don't know what your guys' experience was, but when I was standing online, they were kind of just letting people walk in if they had their filled in ballots properly in the envelope. You could skip the line and everything. So just don't mail it in at this point. Just bring it.
Go to the drop box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But there you go. Vote, vote, vote. Turnout has been amazing so far. Keep it coming. It's awesome.
So exciting.
Let's see. Here we go.
There's Alex vetting a question live in front of you.
Don't read that
one.
Sorry, everybody. This is just a follow-up of what we talked about before. We'll wrap up with this one from Joe. Mostly for Alex, but does it amuse you? Does it amuse you that you want Mando Season 2 to be more like self-contained episodes like Star Trek used to be, as opposed to bigger ongoing story like Star Wars usually is, which Star Trek has become? Not quite sure. I don't think it amuses me. I think the thing about it is that, like, Mando is the thing that it was. It's not about what I want Star Wars to become so much as what I want Mando to be, if that seems fair. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
You want Mando to grow up to be the Mando that he always was meant to be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been trading back and forth also, right? Like Star Trek has been picking up from Star Wars. Star Wars has been picking up from Star Trek. Probably less so.
Yeah, I would venture. I'd be curious to hear what you think Star Wars has taken from Star Trek. Because I think one of the reasons why Star Wars has suffered a bit is they are very sort of cocky about their choices. And their choices have been a little bit more reckless than I think in this last trilogy than I think we want. And I was either reading or hearing someone talk about on a podcast the way a lot of the development of that last movie went. It was like chaos. Like the Daisy Ridley interview that I think we talked about, where she was like, "Yeah, we didn't know what the script was like. We shot like 4 different endings, and it was like that's not how you make a cohesive story. Right. That's how you end up with a muddled bit of mess." And I think Star Trek often has the other problem where it's like overly wrought. It's overly complex to the point where it's like, wait, these are space angels that Spock only knows about? Okay, wait, what?
But Zalbin, you went out of frame, so you probably want to flex on something right now, right? You got something.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to crack open this banana-flavored beer.
Reverse flex. Banana-flavored beer is the opposite. It's like when a cartoon character puts their muscle up and it goes...
Oh, I'm giving it a little sniff here, and you can really smell the bananas.
Oh, go out and smell the
What
bananas.
about the waffle? Can you smell any waffle in there?
Oh, look,
Yeah, you can taste the maple as well. It's
Wow.
like
it's like dropping a Jolly Rancher in an old kombucha bottle.
yeah, it's like if you took a pina colada and then
Not banana. Famously not banana. If you had a pina colada and you threw it away and left a banana in the sun for 6 weeks, and you're like, let me eat this now, and it was poisoned by alcohol, that's what you just put in your mouth.
Yeah. Imagine you had like a bunch of banana runs and then you melted them inside of a sour beer and then also accidentally spilled some maple syrup in it. That's what this is like.
Oh man, you had me at melted runts. I mean, that's one of my favorites.
Great
Runts,
South
great.
Bay, if you want to pick this up. It's actually pretty good.
What little tiny can were you just drinking? Little Virginia Slim of drink right there.
I'm drinking like leftovers from the party. This is the
Party?
the pumpkin carving party that Liwana had. This is like a crisp little white wine.
Pete, what are your insides like? I feel like I ask this every week. You just had vodka and purple stuff, and now you're drinking a barefoot Chardonnay?
I don't think it's a Chardonnay.
Read what it is, you coward.
It says crisp white, which sounds awful to say out loud. Wine base spritzer.
Well, I think that's
Wine-based.
the perfect cue up for our next section here on the show. It's trivia, and for that, we're going to turn over to Pete LePage.
All right.
Hey.
Part we give back to you, the lovely audience. It's an opportunity to win $25 free in the form of gift card to Midtown Comics online. I was really hoping we would see Birthday Boy, but I guess not.
Here, I'm going to invite Adriel Moreland.
Adriel Moreland.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's see what happens. What's going on? Pete, what's today's topic for trivia? Maybe some topical comic book news?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Topical comic news is today's
So
topic.
you're going to do
Thank
like
you.
election stuff? You're going to do some election stuff?
No,
Oh,
it's all
hey,
comic.
Adriel
Hey!
Moreland, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hello, how are you? Welcome to trivia. I'm going to turn it over to Pete LePage.
All right. Great to see you. I'm going to read you a question. Listen to all three possible answers. Get all three questions right. $25 will be yours. Oh, no. Can he not
What's
hear
that?
us?
Can you not hear us?
Yeah. Type.
Oh, no. Here we go. All right. Type in the chat.
Answers. Yeah. Type in your answers on the
Type
chat.
in answers. Here we go. We're going to do this. We're
Nice.
going to make
This
this
is
work.
going to be fine, but I think the issue is he can't hear us. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just hoping he reads the
Okay.
comment.
I can hear now.
Hey,
Oh, hey, all right.
There we go. All right, take it away, Pete.
All right, great. I'm going to read you a question. Listen to all three possible answers. Get all three questions right. $25 will be yours. And as Zalbin mentioned, today's trivia is on topical comic news. Starting in January of 2021, DC says there will be a new blank. Is it A, Batman, B, Superman, or is it C, Meryl Streep? There will be a new blank. Is it A, Batman, or is it B, and definitely not C?
it could be C. It's about time.
Hey, how dare you, sir? Respect the Streep.
She's had quite a streep.
So I think what you want to say is A, and you are correct. A new Batman. New Batman.
Nice.
All right, question number 2. What is the name of Colin Bunn's movie that is somehow in theaters this weekend? Is it A, The Empty Man, B, Bunton Abbey, or is it C, Jude Law? So it's either A, so you can get $25, or you can pick B or
Nice.
C. All right.
A.
Yeah.
A is correct.
Good
Here
job.
we go. Last one.
Hold on, we have to savor the win there, Pete.
Okay. All right, great. Last one. What Marvel title is making its return to comics tomorrow? Is it A, Runaways, B, Before the Fantastic Four, Ben Grimm and Logan, or is it C, Clark Gregg? So it's either A, and you will get $25, or you could say something else. Yeah, A.
Nice.
Good work. You did it. You beat Pete at trivia.
You
Incredible.
destroyed Pete, and he has to spend
destroyed him.
$25 of his hard-earned money on this gift card.
You're going to get that in whiskey clam chowder. That's very exciting. But shoot us an email at comicbookclublive@gmail.com and we'll get you that gift certificate. Thank you, Adriel. Have a good night.
Cool Hulk shirt.
Thanks, guys.
Good night, Adriel.
All right. There we
Whiskey
go.
clam chowder over and out.
Yeah.
This is Cocaine Halloween. All right.
Cocaine Halloween.
Folks,
We
before we wrap up-
always celebrate Cocaine Halloween 2 days after regular Halloween.
yeah. Do you celebrate Mischief Cocaine?
I just wanted to point out
Cocaine night?
Kevin was right. It is AI, artificial intelligence.
Great movie. Everybody loves
Cool.
that movie.
That's a very popular.
Wait, is
one
that
of the
a
best-
Robin Williams movie?
You're goddamn right it is.
Not Bicentennial Man? You're not thinking of that?
Nope. He was a voice. It wasn't a big part, but he was a voice in AI.
Interesting.
And he's in both.
Great. Guy knows robots. And we know that tomorrow is New Comic Book Day, unless you're DC Comics, in which case it's out already. But what are you looking forward to, folks? Dudes, that's coming out. Pete, what's up?
I'm looking forward to Bliss #4 and in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin #1.
Multiple things.
Yeah. Justin, what about you? What's the one thing you're looking forward to?
Well, when I think about all of the things, it's so hard to choose. I'm going to go with the Department of Truth #2.
Ooh, nice one.
Which is a comic that is so timely in a great way, written by James Tynion the fourth, and the art's really great. Timely Tynion, they call him, about how conspiracy theories and fake things manifest themselves in the world the more people believe them. Very cool.
I'm looking forward to 10 of Swords or X of Swords Stasis #1 coming out from Marvel. Just we're finally getting to it here in terms of the tournament and everything that's going on. So
not really getting to it.
Hold on. Save it for the Stack podcast. This is I've been loving this crossover so far. It's just been a blast to read. It's been a lot of fun. So I'm excited to see how it continues to develop in weird and wily ways. And we're going to have reviews of all of those in our Stack podcast, which is spun off into its own podcast Wednesday, 9 a.m., both in the Comic Book Club feed and its own Stack feed. And folks, I think that's it for the show.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Take care of yourself till next time.
Couple of things before we go. We want to thank our guest for being on the show, Francois Vigneault from Oni Press's Titan. That's out on November 10th, so definitely pick that up. That is a lot of fun. Also, next week on the show, Kenny Keel is going to be here to talk about his book, Smooth City, and Eben Matthews is going to be here to talk about the Macroverse, new comics-based platform. We love tech.
I have a question for you, Alex. Is our show the next week at this usual time, or is that a different time?
Sure isn't, Justin. That's absolutely right. In fact, we're going to be doing a Monday show next week. We're going to be doing it on November 2nd, not on November 3rd,
Monday.
not on Tuesday. The reason is Tuesday is election night, and I don't think anybody wants to come here and listen to us talk about comics when it's going on. So we're going to do it Monday instead. I know this is going to disrupt everybody's schedule. Thank you for sticking with us. But we figured that way everybody can concentrate on the terrible things that are happening instead of...
Or great things. Or great things might be happening.
There you go. But yeah, we're going to do Monday, November 2nd for the show. We will stay tuned to our Twitter at Comic Book Live as well as Facebook for more information on that. Sorry about the shift. We'll be back to Tuesday as usual.
I have a feeling on Tuesday night I'll be writing about the election there. If anyone wants to come and yell, especially as the night goes on.
Yeah, there you go. Also, Umbrella Podcademy on Umbrella Podcademy podcast, patreon.com/Comic Book Club, iTunes, Android, Spotify, Stitcher, the app of their choice. Comic Book Club live for this podcast and more. Good night.
Happy Halloween.
Good night, everybody.